Hey, all of you, am I audible to all of you online? Hey, all of you, am I audible to all of you online? Good evening, Simran. Good evening, Haisha, Sachrit. Oh, excellent, Nitya. So I see all the familiar faces mostly. Elena, Jagavitha, okay? So happy to connect with all of you. Okay, so today's session is going to be a bit of discussion on the geography optional paper of this year. I was waiting for many of you to settle down first because after exam gets over, quite a few of our students were traveling. So I said, okay, we can take about a week or so to sit down and discuss. So overall, what has been your impression? Tell me, if I may ask you. Good evening, Nitya. Good evening, Shiv, Isha, Simran, all of you, good evening. So what has been your impression? Let's see. And you can talk about both Geography Paper 1 and Geography Paper 2. And what do you think about the questions asked? What do you think can be the possible marks? Any insight from your side before I give you mine? Yeah, let's see. Let's see what have you thought through. Yes, I agree. I agree that some of you have found the question a mixed type of question paper. There were some questions which are not as easy, questions that were somewhat tricky. Some questions were on the very expected lines, familiar ones. And some of you would have found some questions tricky also, beyond syllabus. Um, so paper 1 was easy and second paper was moderate shift. Okay, I can see what you're telling me. Isha, familiar questions. Mapping was unexpected. Yes, Simran, mapping was a complete shocker. And I must say this on record. I'm very disappointed with some of the questions UPSC as an institution is setting. It's actually, in some ways, very regrettable. To say it's a shame will be a very, very strong word, but it is regrettable. And not just in optional papers. आप देखो GS का पेपर में भी देखो. Okay, an apex institution, one of the most coveted institution, you name, okay, the machinery this UPSC as a body can access. Resources की कमी नहीं है, expertise की कमी नहीं है, experience की कमी नहीं है, but somewhere I think as a body it has not lived up to its expectation. It's actually sad कि आपके क्वेश्चन पेपर में क्वेश्चंस मिस्टेक्स हैं, आंसर्स जो बोलते हैं वो सही है, वो गलत हो जाते हैं. इन अ क्वेश्चन ऑफ 100 क्वेश्चंस इन द प्रीलिम्स, अगर एक दो क्वेश्चन भी गलत हो रहा है, इट्स impacts okay lot of students. I think you all aspirants should get together and write a small representation to the government of India and UPSC that these errors are not expected of an institution at that level. Okay, I've seen this working of institution for almost 25 years now. So it's a regret. It's a deep regret there. I can understand your frustration. And yes, geography ka map question, pata nahi what they are trying to test. The question entries are neither current affairs relevant. They are not even important geographically. Some okay, corner of India, completely forgettable places. Nobody has heard about them. Okay, I do not know why UPSC should ask these kind of random questions. Okay, so yes, it was very unfortunate. You wrote an email. Yeah, Nitya, of course they will not respond. It is below their sense of responsibility. Yeah, Gito Bitan was exam center in Kolkata. Okay. Gita Bitan. But कोई reason नहीं है. Why should they ask you places like Bayalalu, places like Uttarlai, places like Datar Hills or Kikruma? or Gita Bitan. I don't know what UPSC stand to prove. I think all of you should have a representation. Write a mail there. This is absolutely irresponsible, and I would be happy if the video of mine and this video of this discussion of ours goes to UPSC. It's sad. It's sad when people spend years together preparing, practicing, working through, and any absurd entries are asked. Yes, yes. So I can empathize with all of you. Okay. But again, having said that, I do not think this will be a very big disadvantage. I was telling the students the other day, imagine you have a 20-mark question. If somebody is writing very good answers, आप क्या expect करोगे? 15-16 mark if you have a very, very good answer. Okay. Average answers, maybe around 8 to 12 hoga aapka. Okay, as the average answer. So I think in this mapping answer of yours, question of yours, most of you should have been able to mark Rusukulya River, which is a river in southern Odisha, very famous for the olive ridley turtles. It's a region of mangrove forests. So Rusukulya River, I think many of you would have heard because of the Aribada, which is the nesting of the turtles. So wo shayad mark kar sakoge aap. And maybe if you have not heard this name, Chori Tand Tilaiya, but you still know Tilaiya Dam on the river Damodar. So Tilaiya would have been marked maybe as a dam or as a coal mine. And Nayyar River is a small river in Kerala near Trivandrum. So even if you mark two of these, so I think you can get 3 or 4 marks. So somebody who's getting average mark of 8 to 10 or 8 to 12, and you are marking, okay, and getting maybe 3-4 answers, 3-4 marks. So aapka marks from an average mark, a gap is about 5 or 6. So it is not that 20 marks zero ho gaya. Aapka 5 or 6 marks ka jo margin tha, that has probably been impacted. Yes, Sri Vijayapuram, okay, Andaman Nicobar Islands, Port Blair. So I expect current affairs agar pata hoga, to Sri Vijayapuram as an island you also would have, or a place would have known. So I think it is not a excuse me, I'm sorry. It's not an impossible entry, Sri Vijayapuram. So that is how I am rationalizing the marks that you could have scored. Okay, so 5-6 marks ka disadvantage raha for most of you. Okay, but I definitely agree to the point that this paper, the map entry was a tricky one for paper 2. And what about your understanding of paper 1? How do you read paper 1? You know, paper 1 was a very exciting paper because, I mean, even paper 2 may, at the risk of sounding immodest, at the risk of maybe flaunting, lot of questions were what we have discussed in the class. Lot of questions were part of the test series that we had, MSP program that we had. Lot of students came back to me telling me, sir, the paper was manageable because they have written. And this time in the MSP sessions that we have as a part of mains training, I insisted on writing a lot of answers. Students were writing 3-4 answers every day. And before the examination also, I told everybody, don't spread yourself across preparation. Focus on the test series, focus on the questions given to you. And I had given a bank of about 120, 130 case studies. So case studies would have been very helpful for many of you. I hope you saw the benefit of those discussions with the maps. Yeah, Isha says case studies were helpful. So a bit happy because of familiar questions. Excellent, excellent. Yeah, Isha. अब नहीं पता है पीयूष तो मार्क करो ना जो भी पता है. Out of 10 entries, अगर 2-3 entry पता है वो भी शायद doubtful है तो मार्क कर दो. So my suggestion in general was do not over-index on the map work. It's not very rewarding. It's one of those traps the students get into in trying to do too much of India map practice. Okay, I have given a list of map entries as a part of your revision and practice videos. I think if you focus on those map entries, it should be fine, more or less. Okay, so that's the assessment of the paper in general. Now, let us get back to a bit more detailed analysis. Yeah. By the way, if I ask you this question, tell me how many questions you thought were thinking questions? How many you thought were state questions? Okay. And by the way, today's workshop, I will spend a bit more time on paper 2. Nitya, I'm very happy that you find it that way. Okay. By the way, before I continue with our discussion here, by September 15th of this month, next week, I will be starting off with the enrichment program for geography optional. Enrichment program is essentially a program where I help you write answers. We practice through questions. I teach you some advanced content. We also have a lot of revision videos. So the enrichment program is a wholesome program that helps you consolidate all the content that you have studied. And I'll suggest all those who have not done the advanced content test series in geography optional, you must consider joining this program. I'm starting from September 15th. September 15th, आपका पहला class होगा. And lot of content and lot of discussions are video-based discussions. You need not come to the class, and you can always be part of the practice sessions online. Okay, of course, I'll have live classes also, but that's one advantage you have. Yes, if you have done that shift, you can definitely join. It will be helpful for you. And I'll try finishing off the enrichment program by January, taki you can spend more time as a part of your prelims preparation. So on the chat, we are sharing the link with all of you. And my recommendation, all of you must join the enrichment program. अगर आपका foundation हो चुका है, your foundation is 80-90% done. So if you are giving the 26 examination and GS आप manage कर रहे हो, then you must join the enrichment program. The enrichment program, I will start with geographical thought. Yes, Saini, geographical thought. Then I'll move on towards models and theories. Then I'll move on towards topic of RDP. You'll have 4 to 5 sectional tests followed by full-length tests. So please do consider joining the enrichment program. Okay, fine. Let's get on with our discussion. Okay, so if you all can see my screen. Can you all see my screen, all of you? Is my screen visible to all of you? Yeah? Yes. Okay, excellent. Yuvraj, that's a decision you have to make. I personally feel that the kind of work we do, supporting we do, okay, I think we deserve to at least be paid and compensate for my efforts. So कोई बात नहीं, आप अपने आप prepare करो, Yuvraj. If you have an issue, reach out to us. But the cost of not qualifying is even more costly. Yuvraj. चलो ठीक है. Basically, with all these courses which are launched left, right, center with all kind of prices, so maybe you feel that way. But ठीक है, कोई बात नहीं. Okay. Oh, Ronak, hi, how are you? Okay, very nice, excellent, Ronak, excellent. ठीक है, that's wise, Hari, that's wise. No, I'm just starting. I'm starting and I'll discuss paper 2 first, because I think paper 2 was the relatively tricky one. Okay, so I'm starting with paper 2 discussions. Okay, so now, what were the surprises in paper 2? And what I've done is I have kind of organized okay, and classified the questions. Okay, so here we go. This is my assessment. Dekho, by the way, I'll suggest all of you have your question paper ready with you. Are you all having your question paper with you? क्या करना चाहिए मेंस के बाद? अभी शोभित 15-20 दिन और थोड़ा सा आराम करो. Nothing on interview, okay? I personally feel thinking about interview and starting preparation, this is not the right time. Okay, you should take some more time and then get interview. Abhi aap thoda aaram karo, 15-20 aaram karo, and then you can always get back to me. Okay, so this is the list I have made. There were certain regular questions and there were certain tricky questions. So agar aapko question paper dekhna hai, so this is the question paper. Okay, can you all see the screen here? I'll keep switching between the screens. So my classification of the question papers is that some questions are regular questions जो आपको answer करने चाहिए थे. Some questions were thinking questions. ऐसा नहीं है कि आपको नहीं पता होता. They're thinking questions. Some questions were surprise questions. We don't expect those type of questions, but manageable. And the fourth category are shocking questions. भाई ये question क्यों आया? Okay. Based on this classification, I can tell you what you should have answered or what question you should have attempted. Like I'm leaving out, okay, the mapping question for now. Okay, so look at this here. So this is my classification. My opinion, question number 1B, question 1B was a regular question. Kadevas pe tha. This should not have been tough at all. Question number 1C was on Himalayas and agriculture. So thinking question tha. This question on India's nautical tourism, ye bhi thinking wala question tha. So question number 1B was a very easy question, Kadevas and Himalayas and how agriculture. It's not a tough question. If you had some practice in writing, would have done it. And this question on the nautical thing, this also was a thinking question. So if you remember the question paper, okay, this is the question paper here. Look at this question, the question on Kadevas. Okay. The formation of the Kadevas, the economic significance of Kadevas, and the Kadevas ka location kahan par raha hai, Kashmir Valley, along the Jhelum Valley. This was a regular question. 1C was a thinking question. How does Himalayan ecosystem regulate cropping patterns? Himalayan ecosystem ka climate batao. Himalayan ecosystem ka biodiversity batao. Himalayan ecosystems slopes batao. So Himalayan ecosystem is important for some bit of pastoralism, shifting agriculture, important for horticulture, important for plantation agriculture. So how does Himalayan ecosystem regulate cropping pattern? Okay, you had to think on this, but I think this was a very, very doable question, an interesting question, which I think is a mark-fetching one. It's a nautical tourism hai. I do not know if you read the question properly as critically argue karo. How much is the potential? Argue on what are the options? Argue on what type of investments are required, what type of infrastructure is required. So if you have done something on India's blue economy, okay, this nautical tourism can be answered, but nautical tourism is mainly around, okay, shipping cruise. Nautical tourism is around deep dive cruise. Nautical is about the port infrastructure supporting some water sports. So uske around hai. And this was about critically argue and make a case for it. So my quick thinking about this particular question was that agar aap soch paate and link it to blue economy, this was a very good question to answer. Oh, okay, Ronak. I'm happy that You could do some of these questions. Sudan, Sahel, blue economy. Thank you, Ronak. You feel so? We helped, it would have been helped. Yes, it would have been nice. Yeah, Navy ship was sunk for tourism and diving. Yes, exactly. Okay, so this was a good question, but a thinking question. Okay, then if I go and check the other ones, so one ka ho gaya. Question number 2A. 2A, I think, the question which was about pharmaceutical industries. One question about how the ecosystems, coral ecosystems are beneficial. And this question was about the changing agriculture aspects. So question number 2 was a very, very good question to answer. I would have personally preferred question number 2A. Question paper dekho, if you can hear. Okay. Question number 2A. Okay. It says about the pharmaceutical industry, discuss what contributed, then how the coral reefs are important part because of the dynamic ecosystem. And the third one was agriculture sector and how it is changing because of the physical and politico-economic changes. How agriculture is changing because of climate change. How agriculture is changing because of desertification. How agriculture is changing because of land salinization. Agriculture because of water problems. How agriculture is changing because of changing urban type of economy. How it is changing as a consequence of rural to urban migration. आपको ये political economic भी बताना था. How is agriculture changing because of commercialization? And this one, changing in different regions of India. Different regions of India, matlab, maybe take up one example from hill region, take up one example from parts of western plains, northern plains, take up examples from parts of urban type of agriculture around in the rural urban fringe. So again, I think this was a good question to answer. Overall, my selection is 2 was a very good question to answer. Very nice spectrum. You think so? Excellent. Ab batao, what is your thinking in this? Do you agree with my assessment that 2A was on the expected lines? Pharmaceutical industries hum class mein karate hain. We also had a practice question. Okay, and coral reef is a question. Ki Indian ecosystem mein coral reef you had to know. Okay, how to relate because pharmaceutical beta is largely in the western region. Because pharmaceutical industry is based on infrastructure, based on high skills, urbanization. Lot of pharmaceutical is based on export. So they are near the ports, they're near the centers of refineries. So yes, lot of pharmaceutical industries, जैसे उद्योग मंडल में है, पिंपरी में है, मुंबई के अराउंड है, पुणे के अराउंड है, pharmaceutical industries गुजरात में है. So there is lot of concentration along the western region. Not to say that they are not in the other parts, but आपको लिखना था western region में. Okay, so you can you have to focus on the western region. So what do you think overall? Do you think what's your opinion? Was 2 a good question to answer, all of you? Do you think 2 was a good question to answer? My assessment is yes, it was a good one to answer. Okay, excellent. Now let us look at the other list that I have made. Look at this one. Okay, so question number 3 mein, I think question number 3 was okay. The question number 3C, जो dairy पे था, this was a regular question, dairy industry. But 3B जो था, land use pattern of Eastern Ghats, I think this was a thinking question. I didn't expect कि Eastern Ghats, though I was telling students repeatedly कि Western Ghats पूछेगा. Western Ghats का problems है, Western Ghats में debates रहे हैं. So my expectation was Western Ghats पूछेगा, but they asked Eastern Ghats plantations, Eastern Ghats shifting agriculture, Eastern Ghats में mining land uses हैं. So I was a bit surprised seeing this. Having said that, I think this was doable if you had thought through this answer a bit more properly. That's my assessment of 3B. और 3A जो है, the distribution of SCs and ST. This, according to me, was a surprise one. Because I didn't expect कि distribution pattern पूछेगा SC, ST पे. So I was actually surprised. Okay, and but it was doable. Like ST, you know, a lot of forest tribes STs हैं. STs in western part of India, Rajasthan में है, Gujarat में है. SCs are across India, but इसको सोचना, this was a tricky one, I think. So question number 3 में, dairy was a good question, but other two I think were the tricky ones. So if you can have a look at this. Okay, so 3A, which was distribution pattern of scheduled castes and tribes. Okay, this I think was a surprise one for me. And land utilization of Eastern Ghats, this was a thinking question, so not a state question. So overall, what do you think about 3A? Should you have answered 3A? Okay, how many of you would have preferred attempting 3A? Can you tell me? And like a 3C, I think personally 3C, challenges of dairy sector and livestock, this was a good one. How many of you would have attempted question number 3? Let's see how many of you. What's your opinion here? Okay, some of you would have skipped. Abhay says he would have skipped. Okay, fine. You would have skipped. Okay. Okay. So let us see. You would have skipped this. Okay. Question number 4 देखते हैं. 4 में 3 questions. One question was the socio-political landscape in India and the regional consciousness creating disputes. So my choice, this was a thinking question. Okay, cottage industries in India, I don't think it was difficult, but again, somewhat thinking, but not difficult. And 4C, the rural settlements are diversified, both in physical and cultural. So 4 question, all the 3, I think required some bit of thinking. I'll not say surprise completely. So if you see my classification, okay, I have classified 4 as the cottage industry was फिर भी on the expected lines, but 4A and 4C I think were a bit more deeper thinking questions. So what's your call on question number 4? Do you think question number 4 आप attempt करते, आप skip करते? What's your understanding here? See, a very important aspect of scoring good in the papers is you must have a sense of कौन सा question attempt करता, okay, कौन सा question आप छोड़ते, कौन सा attempt करते, which was capable, better than question 3. अभय, मतलब आप 2 बोल रहे हो, right? और 3 बोल रहे हो. So yeah, I'll say in terms of ease of attempt, I think 2 was definitely a good one. 3 I would have skipped. 4, I do not know. What do you say? 4, would you skip the paper? Would you attempt the paper? Okay. Or would you maybe not very sure, maybe? Okay. Not very sure, maybe. Right. Now let's go on towards question number 5. Now, I think question number 5 was a very, very scoring one. The surprise था, but अगर आप ढंग से करते, according to me, 5 was a very scoring paper, scoring question. All those short notes that you could have thought about. Okay, look at this. How can rural-urban fringe be delineated? Essentially asking you something on how to demarcate the city region. अगर smart होते आप इसको, okay, this is essentially about demarcation of the city region. The R.L. Singh's method, proximal boundary method, gravity method, you can delineate that on the basis of land use patterns. So I think this was a good one to answer. So applied hota. Yes. Question number 5B, spatial pattern of religious groups in India does not show any specific pattern. This question actually surprised me. This was a thinking question. If you look at the religious groups or religious communities, it says that a specific pattern nahi hai. You cannot clearly say Northern India is only one religion, Southern India is one religion, East-West demarcation. Okay, it's saying it does not show any specific patterns. I was surprised by this, but some of you who were in class today, this is a very interesting question to answer, and this would have been interesting. The pattern is not fixed because migrations hua hai. Pattern is not fixed because a lot of interactions. Pattern is not fixed because lot of local conditions have decided what type of areas will have what type of religion. There is an impact of proximity. There is an impact of historical factors, where the kings. So our religious pattern, जो religion का pattern है, this is not entirely a function of local geography. Okay, that's one reason why you cannot have a definite pattern to the religion. People are moving, migrating. Okay, people are influenced by local factors, maybe in terms of leadership. Okay, so it was an interesting one to answer. Yes, it is not the same thing. Okay, but you can apply the concept of urban influence to rural urban fringe also. You have to know R.P. Mishra's model that rural urban fringe implies land use change, occupational change, crop change, and then use techniques of RLCing, use techniques of proximal boundary, and then do it. That was good enough to try to answer this question. Yeah, okay. So that's one. And I think 5C was a very good question. A straight question tha. Watershed as the most appropriate unit for planning. How many of you can relate to this question that we had in the class discussions? What I'll do is, I will not say easy shift. Okay, watershed, आसान नहीं था, but definitely it was a good question. So my assessment is 5 question was very scoring. अगर आप apply करते अपने आप को a bit of thinking, this was a very scoring question. 5A2. Okay, look at the next one also. It's talking about how Northeast India is a geopolitical and geocultural, a very thinking question. And this one, when the fox nuts basically makhana hai. Now this one surprised me. Although we all prepare for millets, we study pulses, but बहुत specifically foxnut makhane ke baad mein, I mean, looking back, I should have expected it. I should have anticipated it, but ये मैंने anticipate नहीं किया था, right? And part of Bihar, the Mithila region, Madhubani region. Okay, so looking back, I should not have been surprised, but I think this was a good question. Yeah, prelims का question भी था. अच्छा ठीक है. Lot of focus on fox nuts. So overall, my assessment is question number 6, question number 5 was a scoring question. Now let's look at question number 6. Question number 6, urban heat island. What? I think this was a very easy question, L1 level question, which you should have answered this. Urban heat island, heat waves. Okay. Sagarmala was a very good question again. I think those of you who were part of the MSP program, I had given you some class notes on Sagarmala. मैं Sagarmala बाकायदा पढ़ाया है. I gave Sagarmala with lot of theoretical base. Data के साथ में मैंने पढ़ाया है. the significance of Sagarmala from the geographical concepts. So I think this was a very, very good question to score on. And sex ratio. So I think question number 6. What do you think? Was it a good question to answer? Or was it a tough question to answer? What's your guess here? Question number 6, batao. Let's see. Reduce Hindi. Of course, yes. Question number 6, what do you think? Was it a... Yes, question number 6, I think was exactly, Abhay. It should have been your sure shot question. This one should have been a brilliant one. The average marks here should have been more than 60, 70. You should have answered question number 6. Anybody not attempting 6, I think, lost an opportunity. It was a very, very good question, not doable. It was a high scoring one. Okay, so I was assessing, no? Question number 2, you said you will do this. Question number 3, most agreed, you will skip this. Question number 4, most of you can't decide on this. Question number 6, you would have done this. Right? So question number 2 कर लेना चाहिए था और 6 कर लेना चाहिए था आपको. Okay. Then look at my analysis also. If you look at my analysis, okay. See 6A, 6A, B, C. I have put under regular questions. You should have answered this. ये तो आपको करना ही चाहिए था. Question number 6. Right? Okay. Let's look at the other questions now. Now let's discuss question number 7. Droughts of India and how do droughts impact food production, okay, and distribution, and talk about agriculture policies for this. Guys, what do you think? 7A was a difficult question, easy question, thinking question. What's the assessment here? Let's see. Anybody? What's the assessment of question number 7A? Okay. Makhan question. I like that phrase, Abhay. This is brilliant. Okay. Droughts to pata hona chahiye tha aapko. No doubts in this. Okay. Consequence of land degradation, desertification. This we have done as a part of our MSP answers. Notes diya hua hai, maine case study diya hua hai. Even droughts pe we have case studies given. Okay. Desertification pe case study hai. And I had repeatedly said that desertification is an important question. I don't think 7AB aapko miss karna chahiye tha. And if you look at the next one, question number 7C. 7C was, again, blue economy of India. Why is it important? Validity, how important it is. Discuss its impact. How many of you were anticipating batao blue economy? MSP students, if you are here, did you practice on blue economy? ये हमने आपको कराया था, बताया भी था. Yeah. So how do you rate question number 7 now? So question number 2, you said you will do it. Question number 3, you said you will skip it. Question number 4, आप pens में हो. Question number 6 was Makhan question. Okay. And 7 also. What do you think? 7 was a good question to answer? Absolutely. So if I was in your place, okay, these 3 were very good questions. Yes, absolutely, Abhay. Right? Because if you read all the questions, no, so some questions are tricky, some questions look like not doable, but आपके पास choice है. Okay. You had choice to leave out lot of questions. So question number 2, 3, 4, question number 6, 7, 8. Okay. 2 was very good question, 6 was very good question, 7 was very good question. तो अगर आप बाकी छोड़ भी देते, I think paper 2 was a very good paper to answer. How many of you attempted 2, 6, and 7? Let's see. How many attempted 2, 6, and 7? Yeah, you did. Excellent. PD. Because see, if you go to question number 8, this was a complete letdown. I think this was a shocking question. Green architecture का principles batao, challenges batao. I mean, I can write this, but this is a bit, very divergent question. Okay, green architecture के elements पता होने चाहिए. So I think 8A would have been tough to answer exam conditions. Okay. Why regional planning is important for island territories? Okay, ये भी हम कर लेते. But I would know what is being done rather than discussing why important. This also is a L2 question. And third one, boundaries and the issues. This, I think, was a very lengthy one. Pakistan boundary, Nepal boundary, China boundary, boundaries of Myanmar के साथ में, India and Sri Lanka का maritime boundary, India is a very, very lengthy one. So this, I think, this would have been a bad question to answer. So anybody who attempted question number 8, ये बहुत thinking वाला question था, and maybe it would have consumed a lot of time. Make sense, all of you? Okay, that's what I also suggested here. अगर आप देखोगे how I have classified, so I have said 8C, okay, was a regular question, but was not an easy question to answer. It was a lengthy one. And 8B मैंने surprise पे रखा है. And this green architecture मैंने कहा कि shocking question था. So question number 8, I don't think you should have answered at all. That's my assessment of paper 2. Yes. So if I was in your position, you tell me what were the surprises in geography paper 2 optional. I'll say question number 2, question number 6, and question number 7 were very, very good questions. Question number 5 was largely L2 question, but it was very scoring if you had done it. And of course, I agree. 1A jo tha, okay, the mapping part, this was a shock of a set of entries, but iske wajah se, maybe you have a disadvantage of 5 or 6 marks, that's all. Green architecture is, architecture which is using local material, architecture that doesn't use artificial heating or cooling, architecture that uses a lot of, easily available material, and not architecture which also is inclusive of watershed management and rainwater harvesting. Green architecture is also less energy intensive architecture. Okay, so there was one discussion on one type of houses which is made in parts of Himachal Pradesh and Uttarakhand. Okay, they're called as Katkuni houses. ये कल in Times of India में news में था. Katkuni houses. They use wood without nails. They use mud, no concrete as such. They modify the houses according to local area rainfall, slant roof. So any house which is energy efficient, okay, any house that uses local raw material, which is self-sufficient in terms of water and rainwater harvesting, a house that uses or recycles water and the waste disposal, okay, any house that is also to some extent local disaster resilient. अगर ये characteristics हैं, The house is called as a green architecture house. Yeah, all of you. So what were the surprises in the GS? I think not something you could not have managed. I don't think, Abhay, because if attempting a difficult question, it is not always certain that you will write a good answer. Okay? So I think you must attempt the question that you can do confidently, even if you think it's an question. Usko karo. Those easy questions will help you finish the paper on time and finish the paper with more conviction, finish the paper with a better content. So you must not gamble. अगर आपके पास आसान क्वेश्चन है तो कर लो आसान क्वेश्चन and do the easy question better than what others can do. That's my recommendation. Yeah. So regular topics, I think, were in question number 2, question number 6 and 7. So overall, I think अगर आप paper 2 देखोगे, geography optional, paper 2, I think should score those who qualify. देखो दो तरह के बच्चे होंगे. People who will not qualify, people who have not studied well, and people who have studied well, practiced well. These students should get more than 280 is my assessment. I won't be surprised if the marks will shoot to 290 types. Those not studied, see, most of us don't realize that a lot of people who give their mains examination are those who have not really prepared for the mains paper. So, unke liye it will be a tough paper invariably. So guys, that was my assessment of the paper 2. I think it'll be scoring paper, 280 types. It can touch and cross 290 also. And let me tell this to you, Bar. Okay, geography does get you good marks, provided you have studied well. Okay, if you look at the average marks, in fact, I can show this thing to all of you. I know this is going to be a question. If you look at the average 2024 का result देखोगे ना and marks देखोगे आप, you realize the average, we surveyed some of the mark sheets, and what we found was a fair amount of students ka average marks has been pretty high, comparable to mathematics, higher than PSIR, and also higher than sociology. The average marks in geography, we have done a decent amount of a survey across papers. We took up more numbers of people who have qualified. The average marks was 273, higher than PSIR, higher than sociology. और अगर आप 2023 का marks देखोगे, okay, 23 marks, again we did some surveys here. Geography's average marks was 287, almost comparable to the marks of, I'm talking about those who have qualified, remember. Those who have qualified. Not qualified, but I don't think we should be talking about them because they have not studied as much to score marks. Those qualified may, okay, the sample survey we did, geography had a higher average marks, even higher than PSIR, higher than sociology, okay. Chemistry, bas geography se zyada tha, and mathematics. So I think, okay, yes, it was even better than anthropology, 2023. Okay, and if you look at the anthropology marks, okay, anthropology ka marks also was lower than geography's. So what happens is most of the time we are seeing marks of those who have not qualified and we get discouraged. And I'm sure this year also geography will get you marks. My recommendation to all of you, those who are giving your mains examination or hopefully next year giving a prelims, you need to start off answer writing. And my invitation to all of you is that please make sure that you join the enrichment course. I'm starting from September 15th. Okay, it'll be writing practice. And by the way, can I ask you one question? Are all of you on my Telegram channel? Okay, my recommendation to all of you here. My recommendation to all of you here. Okay, see, one is there are 3 Telegram channels I will want you to subscribe to. One is our essays channel, essays with Edukemy. By the way, before I forget, tomorrow at 8 p.m., me and Dev sir will discuss essays paper this year. Be part of the essays discussion tomorrow, all of you. Tomorrow on Tuesday at 8 p.m. Okay, it's a live session. Please be part of the essay session. Yes, Yuvraj, absolutely. The timings largely they are online video sessions, and we'll have 1 or 2 classes every week, and the timing is from 4 to 6. You'll not miss much. Join this one. There is one more Telegram channel, Shabbir Edukemy for IAS, and we have also one geography with Edukemy. On these channels, we are doing daily answer writing. I'm giving questions in practice. It's free of cost. Yes, yes. Excellent. Very nice. Thanks so much for appreciating that, PD. End by January, Yuvraj. January end tak end ho jayega. And all of you, my recommendation, please join this particular website, https://ask.com. This will be your partner for any preparation. इसमें आप चैट करके डाउट क्लियर कर लो, करंट अफेयर्स कर लो, इसमें आप टेस्ट्स लिख लो, you can solve MCQs. Okay, you must join this particular website. It is an AI based platform as of now. You can learn a lot from this. You can all check your comment section, the links I'm sharing. And on daily basis on Telegram, we are doing answer writing. Okay, guys, all of you. Okay, so I think we had time only for this much. Allow me one more session sometime later this week, maybe. I will discuss the paper 1 also with all of you. Shiv, I can't comment on that. But my suggestion is, Shiv, if you are studying on your own, you come to institute and please take our optional class notes. वो class notes लेके आप prepare करना, you will find it better. But don't study optional entirely on your own. It'll become very tedious for you. Okay, Shiv, and you can always reach out to me. Phone number लिख लो 9868424660. 9868424660. If you have any doubt, reach out to me. Oh, that's nice, Shiv. Very nice. Okay, guys, that's all for today. It's already late now, almost 9 o'clock. Thanks for sitting through. I'll have one more session. I'll discuss paper 1 with all of you. Okay, my wishes to you. Good luck and reach out for any doubts that you have. Okay, Mansvi, you can do that. Okay, that's excellent, Mansvi. No problem. I will let you know the date. I thought I will do it today, but I do not know. I took more time discussing paper 2. I don't know if I could have done paper 1 also. I planned for today itself. Allow me one more day and we will have one more session on paper 1. Okay. All of you, bye-bye. Take care. And please, all of you join tomorrow's essays session. At 8 p.m., we'll have a live workshop on essays. This year's essays paper, me and Dev sir will have discussion, and you all will enjoy the discussion, the depth that we will take you through. Okay then, bye-bye. Take care. My wishes to all of you.